All the way from the Starehe Boys Center here in Nairobi, welcome to the Great Debaters Contest, Season 7. I am Austin Nyumbo.
And I am Mariam Bishar. Today we have veteran teams on stage. They have been with us since we started the Great Debaters journey. I'm talking about Our Lady of Mercy High School and Jamhuri High School. And they're debating on whether the education sector in Kenya should be devolved to county governments. It's a motion that pertains to everybody in this room and a lot of you at home, and we hope they tackle it well. We'll have them come to the stage now. Proposer number 1, you have 3 minutes.
With the promulgation of the 2010 Constitution, there came a gift hamper called devolution from Our Lady of Mercy, Lauren Vugutsa, proposing the motion that states the Kenyan education system should be devolved to the county government. Devolution, devolution, devolution. Many of us have heard of devolution, but never really knew what it means. Let me tell you, it is the transfer of authority from the national government to the county level. In Kenya, we have 47 counties: Nairobi, Kisumu, Mombasa, just to mention a few. At this point, education is at the national level. What if I told you we could get better? On to my first point, improvement of infrastructure, especially in the marginalized areas. Give an example: Mandera County, Turkana County, Tana River. Every day, every time we hear of these issues, students are sitting under shades of trees. Teachers are writing under shades of trees. They don't even have chalks. Yet, we are talking about the national government. We are talking about the national government doing its work. The current government promised their laptops, but it hasn't been fulfilled because of the infrastructure. The places in this country don't have enough infrastructure. But let me give you the solution. The solution is county government. If we devolve our education to the county government, it will be the best thing that will ever happen to this country. On to my second point, the question of priorities. Right now, the national government is overwhelmed with so many things. For example, food insecurity. I want to give an example of the West Pokot. Recently, people are dying of hunger. Animals and people are dying of hunger. The government has to concentrate on these people. On the second point, insecurity in our country. May the Lord rest their souls in peace. The soldiers were buried yesterday. If you are a mother, you have 2 children. One is dying, the other one you haven't taken to school. Who will you concentrate on? Who will you concentrate on? Obviously, the one who's dying. This is the same situation that is happening in the national government. Right now, they have to focus on more pressing issues in this country. As you never be a student for so many years. You only have like 5 years or 10 years to be a student. Will you wait till all the pressing issues are corrected? No. On to my third point, the county government has already proved it can take up education. I know most of you know about the preschools, don't you? The preschools are built by the county government, and we have seen the good work it has done. Job security in these areas, whereby the preschool teachers who are not permanently employed now are employed. Isn't that a good thing? Isn't that a county government we should have? I would like to urge my opponents to cross over to a land of milk and honey. Thank you.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes to make your opening submission.
They say, better devil you know than an angel who you don't know. My name is Brian Oloch, ready to oppose the motion that states the Kenya education system should be devolved to the county government. According to my first proposer, she has come here and told us about devolved, but we do not know the research where he has got from. According to the Wikipedia and the internet, which from the Google, it states that devolve is the transfer power to a lower level, especially from central government to a local government, whereas education refers to the public schooling, not private schooling, ranging from kindergarten and middle levels. On to my first point, I want to talk about the Constitution, which my fellow colleague has talked about. The Constitution of Kenya, chapter 6, it talks about the education. It recognizes what? It recognizes that not all services are appropriate for our devolution. One of them is education, which the Constitution chapter 11 supports it very well. On to my second point, I want to talk about the counties. The counties, they are overwhelmed with a few functions that have been devolved to them, like health, roads, and public services. The health are talking about, and they are crying very well. They are starting to sing songs about how the county government should hear them. If the county government are unable to cater for the county government, what about the education system, which include the marking sectors? How will they be able to tackle out the marking sectors? How will they be able to secure of examination until the appointed moment of administration? Let's take the third point. If education is derived, children, especially from up country, will leave homes and attend nearby primary schools, high school, and college, all in their counties. Children will speak their local language. They will play the same sport and sing the same song, which will hinder their miscommunication. Kids will attend their local churches, hear their local pastors, and they learn no new idea. It is about time for us as a Kenyan to learn new ideas. According to our president and according to our vision 2030, it says that we should develop and we should look forward. Do not let's turn backward and start to think about what will be the future, not the past. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Proposers, it's time for your cross-examination. You have 3 minutes.
Change is inevitable. Wise words from Margaret Ogola. The resentment of change is a true act of mediocrity. I am Georgina Ahwale from Our Lady of Mercy, South Bay, here to strongly propose this motion. And on to my first point, accessibility and availability of good schools. We all know that there are some parts of Kenya whereby, yes, there are schools, but there are no infrastructure in these schools. That the teachers sometimes lack chalkboards to write on, lack the chalk to write with. The students lack the desks and the seats to sit on. How are these students supposed to learn in such an environment? How are they? Now, if we devolve education to the county government, do you know that the county government can get funds from the national government, and together with the taxes and the entertainment from the counties, they can build infrastructure so as to provide a conducive environment for the learning of these students? On to my second point, educational policies. Counties can come up with educational policies geared toward developing their own counties economically, but most of all, educationally. Let's take an example of Turkana, the oil that is in Turkana. The government can come up with a way of training these people on how to mine this oil. And through mining this oil, the profits they get from it can be invested in education, so that the people in Turkana County won't have to go far places in search of education. On to my third point, focus on strengths and weaknesses of the county. We take an example of FGM. FGM, together with wife inheritance and polygamy, they are retrogressive cultural practices. These are practices that mostly take place in the eastern parts of Kenya. Do you know that if we devolve education to the county government, that the county government can help us in such a way that it will help teach these people on the disadvantages of these things, because once the children know about wife inheritance, polygamy, how will they continue with the education? How will they continue the education? We can talk of strengths like pastoralism. That is a strength of mostly, again, the eastern region of Kenya. This is a good thing, but then it deprives the children of attending school, of getting education. Now, to my opposers, it is up to you to accept change. Change is not for the chosen few, but for the few who choose it. Thank you.
Jamhuri, you have 3 minutes for your rebuttal.
The river feeds the fish, but when the fish dies, the river feeds on it. I am Anthony Omondi from Jamhuri High School, here to pose the motion that states the Kenyan education system should be devolved to county government. First, this will be too expensive, because when the funds needed to devolve to change the education system into county government, it will require a lot of funds and resources. And thank you for my fellow proposer here, that you have said that various schools don't have desks, tables, and they study under trees. Why? Where are these funds the government they should get for these various places? Where some people are hungry? Where are these financial expenses that the government should get in order even to build just a school in one area with suffering? Because lack of these resources shows that the government already does not have enough funds. Where will they get them? My first point is that the government, if they change the education system into county governments, they'll misuse a lot of land which would have been used for other purposes. Let's say it's so hard to reach other areas because there's no good quality roads. Where will they get these roads to reach such areas? Now, if they use these funds to build schools in the areas, these roads to lead other people to other areas, where will these roads come from? At least some land would have been spared for roads to be built to reach other areas so that other problems that are facing the counties will be solved. And I would like to add a point that Nairobi is not termed as a county. It is termed as a region with sub-counties. Example is Starehe sub-county. And we find that these poor people suffering because of lack of education and food. It might maybe because their parents did not get enough to provide for their families. So you find that they pass through trouble in some various places. And the best way for the government to help these families first is by providing enough food and resources than rather change the education system to the counties. And another point I have is that we have, when education system will be devolved into county levels, some people will not manage the funds sent to various counties, and they might misuse the funds for their own purposes and not to build these schools which will better up the education system of the country. Thank you.
Thank you very much to the audience. The proposers have been asked, if we were to devolve the education sector, wouldn't we end up then just devolving the problems that it faces, such as corruption and perhaps poor usage of resources? And the opposition have been asked, while they say that we should not devolve education to the county governments, does that mean that they're okay with the failures of the central government in sectors such as providing proper education, proper classrooms, even writing materials for students? We'll have them respond to these questions. Proposer number 3, you have 3 minutes.
Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Hosanna in the highest. Oh, Hosanna in the highest. But blessed will be Kenya if it will be able to devolve its education systems to county government. And thus Hosanna shall be recited by the pupils, students, and even teachers. Beth Ochingo from Our Lady of Mercy, here to answer your questions. We already have corruption in the county government. Now, what will happen if we devolve the education systems to county government? Now, I will answer you by saying that the county government is already corrupt. Now, there will be no difference if we devolve the education systems to county government. I hope you are answered. On to my first point, healthy competitions. First and foremost, we all know that competition is our everyday routine. We encounter competition each and every moment. We inhale and exhale. Even that is part of competition. I will move to the family level. I come from a family of 7. Each and every holiday, we present our report forms. Now, trust me, last holiday, I emerged the first. This was able to create a stiff competition among my other siblings. Now, what if this happens the same to the counties? The counties will have stiff competition and thus will set better policies to improve education-wise. On to my second point, rural to urban migration. Now, did you know that if I have accessible, available, good education facilities in my rural place, I will not be forced to travel to the urban place to look for good high schools, good education facilities, white-collar jobs? No, I will not be forced. Now, that will be because of the devolution of the Kenyan education systems to county government. To my opponents, it is either you trust me or you trust me, because I am only here to display facts and figures that the Kenyan education systems should be devolved to county government, and this will benefit you as a student. And by the way, the two guys in blazers, you're looking very good today, cute today. You're looking gorgeous. But before you oppose me, please think twice. Thank you.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes to respond to the audience.
My name is William from Jamhuri High School, here to strongly oppose this motion that states that the Kenyan education system should be devolved to county governments. But first, let me answer your questions. Someone there asked a question, I don't remember well. Yes, it will continue them writing on the ground because the government has proven to us, or our leaders have proven to us, that they are corrupt. Some of them even are making wheelbarrows twice my school fees. What's that? They live in posh house, just coming to schools, come to show us that they have money. Like, I was just home the other week. They were giving out money to people who just look like they have votes. I don't have a vote, but they were still giving it to me. So it will still continue. Now, it was to the third proposer. You did agree with me saying that the county government is corrupt. So you yourself know that we cannot trust them with our funds for them to create schools. And now to my first point. It says it should be known that no county will ever want to be at the bottom. So you'll find some counties will demolish or give away with KCP and KCSE, making easy examination papers so that their counties may pass. Now, we don't want the education system to end up like the current medical sectors are doing. They've currently been dissolved. Like, it was just in 2014, according to the link, they said that 800 doctors were resigned from the public medical service and joined the private sectors, and were not willing to going back because of the corruption that was going there. The money that was being given to them never got to them. And you will find that if they were in Kakamega County, some of them, the Kakamega County workers were given first and then the other ones later. Like, it was just a story by a lecturer who was still teaching in Kakamega. She was being witch hunted just because she was from a different county. And then even a year later, when they're supposed to receive their salaries, she received us late. I also need to answer the third proposer. She said that she doesn't want to come back to the urban areas. She would like to stay in a rural area. But it all just comes down to satisfaction. Will he or she be satisfied with where she lives? Because the main reason just people come out of their rural areas to city areas is either to find a better job where they can satisfy their needs. The national goals of education also state that the systems... Oh, thank you.
Our Lady of Mercy, you have a minute for your final submission.
Wow, wow, wow. Can all of you notice this? On my right, this is what used to happen before devolution of education systems was taken to county government. But on my left, this is what will happen after the devolution of education systems will be taken to county government. Now, as my colleague said, change is inevitable, but change is not, I repeat, change is not for the chosen few, but for you few who choose it. Now, this is up to you. It's either you follow me in this tunnel where you'll find light at the end, or that's for you to determine. I'm out.
Opposition, you have a minute.
Paulo na Sila waliomba. Paulo na Sila. That was a voice that I heard yesterday when I was sitting back at our house. The voice of our beloved health sectors. They were crying out loudly and loudly. Please, our fellow beautiful ladies, can you change your last name, Our Lady of Mercy, to our county government of Mercy, because the health sectors... Because the health sectors can't hear, the county government can't be able to hear the cry of the health workers. They say in Kiswahili language, usipoziba ufa, utajenga ukuta. The county government have failed the mandate and responsibility of handling the health workers. How about the teachers? Will they be able to do so? I'm out of here trying to oppose that motion very strongly by leaving you with a very beautiful proverb that say, a blind man can never lead another blind man. What will they do if they lead each other? Thank you.
Our Lady of Mercy, I think you came out strongly to tell us that devolution will ensure improved school system or schooling system. The only thing I didn't get clearly is, was it possible to identify probably some of the services that have been devolved and so far have been probably competitive? I think medical services have been devolved. Is it possible to give an example and probably tell us their successes or their failures? I felt there were still some gaps that most of us could actually seal, especially if we do a comparative analysis of the services that have been devolved and the services and their successes or their failures vis-a-vis education system that we are either saying should be devolved or not.
On the side of Jamhuri, Brian, to me, I think, did his best compared to the other two. And he was coherent and I think at some point entertaining. Then Anthony sounded shaken. I don't know, he did not have the conviction of what he was talking about. William, I don't know, maybe he was not ready or he got on stage and he panicked. But all in all, both teams did a fair job. Thank you.
The biggest question here is, can we devolve education? Has it been devolved in any other part of the country? In any other part of the world? If you can address that question, then I think you're addressing the motion. However, Our Lady of Mercy, I want to commend you for your passion. There was a lot of passion and there was a lot of realistic arguments advanced. For Jamhuri High School, yes, there's a bit of disconnect in terms of the presentation by the members. You find one person is slightly strong, the other person is a bit lost when he takes the stage. But if you can coordinate and ensure that there is a flow, then I think you can make a strong team.
We'll begin with Jamhuri High School. You have 62%. Please give them a round of applause. Your opponents, Our Lady of Mercy, garnered 64%, making them the winners of this debate. Please give them a round of applause.
Very well. Congratulations to the two teams on stage. To Jamhuri High School, I'll leave you with a quote. Water falls, but it keeps flowing. I am your host, Austin Nyumbok.
And I am Mariam Bishar. Thank you for watching, and do keep in touch with us on our social media platforms. On Twitter, we are at Great Debaters EA. We'll see you next time.